Welcome to this video. In this video I'll be showcasing about 5 to 6 different Instagram posing prompts slash poses, well, for Instagram and self shoots, because that is what I class my content as. So if you're interested, just keep on watching. I have my Instagram right here, kind of screen recording, showcasing it right now. Yeah, so let's get into it. It's gonna be a very casual one. The first kind of prompt that I really want to start off with is one that I kind of need to possibly revisit, especially as you can see my beautiful flowers in the background. My beautiful plants are in the background. As you can see from the beautiful plants in the background, quarantine has created this beauty and I think I'm not the only one. There's been such a huge rise of plant owners within the pandemic. I think it incredibly helps mentally, but you can also use that to your advantage when it comes to aesthetics. Try and make the place look very full. Like here you can see I'm laying and kind of being one with the flowers, kind of creating my own Amazon, especially since we can't really go out as much as we obviously could before, you know, and everything is a lot more limited. You don't want to be touching things, especially right now at all. So kind of creating your own little Amazon rainforest or forest vibes at home. Plants are one way to do that, especially the more variation you have within your plants, the more it helps. If you don't have a lot of plants, you can kind of I guess duplicate the ones you do have, either in real life, aka propagation. That's gonna take you a while though, or you can simply Photoshop, you know, Photoshop, pretend to make it type of shit. Photoshop, kind of duplicate from one plant to like the other corner and try and make the frame look really full, because even if you don't have a lot of plant, but if you make the frame look really full, it works. And if you can't do a full body one like the one I'm currently showing here, you can do a close-up one that I have done, like this one. This one is more the portrait, but you can see kind of the plants framing this side of my face, and I think that that really helps. So that is one of my prompts. Another one of my prompts, kind of themes that I really photograph with and work with a lot, is the theme of royalty. And what this to me means is kind of judging myself up and making myself look like royalty, to kind of get this vibe. Really look into maybe your own culture or different cultures you're very interested in, but be careful of cultural appropriation. If that is not your culture, I think it's always better to do your own culture. But I would say look into Renaissance arts and kind of their poses, like this self-portrait that I've done of the side profile of my face. Obviously here I'm dolled up, makeup done, hair slicked back in a long ponytail, that kind of vibe. I think this was incredibly beautiful. I also accentuated my natural features with my makeup, and accentuated my moles that I have naturally in my face, my beauty marks, you know, and did a side view. It is actually incredibly hard to get a side view, but you know, trial and error, you'll get that. It took me many pictures to get this one, don't be discouraged. And also you can merge some kind of elements of photos together in collaging, in editing, if you want to go the extra mile to make a picture feel perfect. I have done this with my ponytail and it really helped. Another place that I've done the kind of royalty theme is this one, which is one of my favorite ones, kind of honoring the Egyptian roots, honoring the headdress and the beauty that that brings, you know, for Swana folk, and kind of matching that with nude tones. When I wear gold, I usually like to accompany it with nuder or toned down tones to really make the gold pop. If you're not into gold jewelry, this is a bit of a harder one, I think, because to me, like, royal and like more ethnic royal is a lot more golden to me. But I think still, if you excessively exaggerate jewels, for example, you can still get that look. This is kind of the full body version of it. You also see I did some makeup with the face. I see play with makeup, play with hair. You see my hair is braided here. That also adds a different element. I like the fact that I can change my hair, that I can change my face to a certain degree with makeup, you know, or no makeup. I have a lot of pictures of no makeup, like I currently am. Yeah, and right now with damp hair. I've done my hair in a hair mask before. That was also a vibe. The place where I've done this is quite recently with the moon tiara. I like to sometimes channel like goddess-esque vibes with these as well, and I think that works incredibly well. As you can see, I exaggerate with the hands while I'm doing it so nicely now. Jewellery is very important. My nails, I love painting my nails and making sure that they look incredible as well. And when you feel incredible, you're gonna look incredible, and that's gonna, you know, showcase itself. So make sure you do like a nice, maybe a little self-care routine before this. You take like a few videos. I think is a really good way to get rid of that awkwardness on camera before you start shooting. You know, play around with some filters, all that type of stuff. Yeah, this one I really like as well, and I think it kind of creates that very royal vibe. Then so moving on from the royal one, you know, the other kind of prompt that I think is incredible for self-portraits and just Instagram, right, I think is mirrors. It is incredibly hard to do this. I won't say it's not easy. Getting the perfect, you know, the perfect placement of the mirror and the perfect placement of you is incredibly hard, but trial and error is really the only way to do this. I like this. My hair was longer here, was blacker. I emulated it. It's really hard pulling out the details now. I think my abilities and my equipment has gotten a lot better, so I might revisit some of these older themes, and that will be next week's video. So this week I'm pretty much showing what I have done right and kind of picking apart certain elements, and then next week I will be going in and redoing some of these, you know, redoing them with the knowledge I have now, and redoing them and showcasing you how to replicate the same to similar things. Yeah, but I'm also showing you that you don't need the most expensive equipment to necessarily do these. I have a whole reel about that, showcasing and stating my equipment within the background, so that will be on my Instagram, like playing right now. But yeah, that's like the mirror one. That's like one of my favorite ones. Play around, pretend like you're putting your makeup on, that kind of stuff, you know. And my paintings, I think, add an element to this, so like having the zhuzhed up mirror with some leaves barely on there. If you have a golden mirror, this would be so much more beautiful, so much more beautiful. I've also done this from above. When I recreate a similar theme, I like to change perspective, change a post, and these kind of things, because I think that keeps it interesting, you know, it keeps people guessing. So if you're going to replicate the same prompt, you know, because you like that prompt, I like these prompts, try and change your perspective, try and change your pose and things like that. Like this one, I'm above, I look like kind of, you know, I still have that royal element to me, but also that elf-like element, that almost mystical element, which I like embodying with a lot of my photos because I think it's interesting. It's things that I like to paint and that kind of stuff. Speaking on painting, I'm a painter. I have some looking through now, showcasing some of my paintings. I like to pose with my paintings. I haven't done this recently, so I haven't had too much time to paint, but there will be one coming soon specifically to deal with that theme, so subscribe if you're interested. But posing with my paintings, I think it's incredibly powerful, and emulating the energy that those paintings hold, the beat with the pose, beat with the colours, beat with how I look or how I present myself in comparison to the picture. So we see it here, there's just a bunch. This one is probably one of the more casual ones, so not that much. But one of my favourite ones, kind of this one, I emulated the patterns, as you can see, that are within the painting. Also, yeah, basically myself, and I thought that was quite cool. I've also done this here, as you can see, just posing between them, and as I said, like, I like to change it up a bit, even if I'm sitting down, try and change maybe the angle I'm posing at, or like how many I have with me painting wise, or any other prompt. Like, I would like to increase the amount of prompts I have or decrease the prompts I have, even if it's the same thing. And again, it's the whole thing of keeping it interesting, keeping it slightly different, even if it's the same theme. There's also one here with one of my favorite ones. When it comes to painting, you can also add a bit of behind the scenes, a bit of a blooper. People like that shit. Physical prompts. There's physical and then edit prompts. I'll get into physical prompts first. So you can do this with a bunch of tarot cards surrounding you. I've done it here and I'm showcasing them now. I think this is very powerful. I like tarot cards, so I showcase tarot cards. It doesn't need to be tarot cards. I've also simply done a bunch of manga. I love manga. I've also done with comics. I love my comics. It's just like elements of me that make me happy that I want to pose beside. Obviously I'm not gonna include an element that I dislike, because I think emotions showcase in photography more than people expect. So we need to be very purposeful sometimes, almost, with what we are putting out there, you know, because I like to embody different elements of myself when I do these. So there's those. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, prompt wise, I've also done obviously the cliche flowers, not so cliche, bunny headband, different hats, different headband, those kind of things. Keep it interesting. And yeah, flowers, like what in a month. It's a bit different because I always do plants, so I decided to do flowers for this one. These are kind of dried up now, but I appreciate them. And as you notice, I keep the hair changing as well a lot more recently. Keep the hair changing because I like to kind of take these in as art, and I play around with my kind of self-expression a lot as a person anyways, so yeah, that's not going to change because I'm doing photography on Instagram, you know. Then there is also kind of a more clear and cut one, which I'm sure you've seen before, but one way to keep like just a white background, that's it, a white background. Might be a white wall. You can also cut yourself out, though that is a lot more difficult if you don't have a white background. There are cheap sets on Amazon with backdrops. If you really want to do this, if you really want to invest in it, Amazon has sets with lighting or without lighting, right, of this thing of backdrops. So yeah, I would recommend those. I think that they're anywhere from like £20 to 50 to 60 to 70 pounds, depending on the size, depending on what there is in there, and all that kind of stuff. And again, I'm not telling you to go out and buy these because, as I said, I've done a lot of these in front of a simple white wall, and that works. I just don't have that much space, so I try and make it work, you know. And I always try and shoot with different elements. And if it's a white background, what I was going to say is kind of playing around with your poses and play around with perspective specifically. As you can, as you can see here, I'm like kicking the camera, I'm posing with my hands, very cliche, that kick ones I don't want to kick, I don't want y'all to see my feet, but you get it, you know what a kick looks like. Those ones. I also like to keep the outfit interesting and the look interesting. Here I'm with some braids, I'm barefaced, with a nice little tracksuit on, Willem Mada himself, you know. I have a little stool. Here too, the stool is a lot more covered by my dress, which I like. Since the other one was so casual, I guess, within the outfit, I wanted to one up it and really layer the dress and text, like I guess textures of the boots, right? So different textures, the jewelry, the hair, like it's still different. You see, I'm still wearing braids, I'm still doing similar poses, but it is different because I've added little elements that maybe alone don't do much, but collected together it creates a difference, and it's quite powerful. Also, yeah, I'll show you how you can possibly edit perspectives as well. If you're interested, I might do like a whole video on editing, because especially with self-portraits, I think a huge part of self-portraits is the editing portion, especially when you cannot see. So yeah, I would want to do a video on that, only if people are interested though, so let me know. Yeah, what else was I gonna say? Editing. We all got apps. Some of us have Photoshop, not all of us, and that's okay. But there's also a lot of different apps that I can share, and like how to edit on those. Like I've animated this picture, interesting element, and I've added like smoke and glitter, if you can kind of see. Very subtle but very effective. Then there is here, I've edited an eyeball onto me, third eye, works really well. Hay fever season. I swear I don't have the Rona. But yeah, this one I really like. I think it's really powerful. The eye is just cut out on my fucking eye. Just did a little boom 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 and edited that on. So I edited eye on there. I edited some effects onto this one and made it a video. I also done one, where is it? There we go, where I've edited eyes, in the background instead of on me, so that also works. So you can either play with backgrounds or play with yourself when you're editing. So those are some of my favorite ways to spice up your Instagram feed and spice up your content. Also just, you know, things for beginner people that are into, you know, self-portraits. And I hope that I inspired you with some of these. And yeah, tune in next week and subscribe if you want to see the behind the scenes of some of these shoots. But also I'm predominantly going to be doing new shoots like the ones I described. I'm going to be revisiting old concepts with new equipment and also showcasing how I, as one singular person, create my whole little setup at home and shoot. I'll also be giving dupes in the video for people who possibly cannot afford the things that I currently have, and don't be discouraged. Again, I did a whole reel on that too if you want to see like more my journey and my different equipment or no equipment at all and how I managed to create using that, you know. So yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe. This is gonna be the predominant content of this account. Is going to be based on posing, self-portraits, photography and art, because your girl paints. Hold up. Oh, there we go. She paints. That was it. That was the video. So, yep, that's it. Thank you for watching, and yeah, tune in next week. Put on the bell, little notification on, share this with someone. It'll be cute if y'all like did a little BFF thing where you both supposed to be Instagrams together. That's kind of cool. That's kind of really cute actually to think about. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed me and my content. You can follow me over on Instagram too to see me execute these. I won't always film behind the scenes. I would recommend my Instagram. I've had a lot of people tell me that I've inspired them when it comes to self-portraiture, so I hope that I can inspire you too and encourage you to do your best. Yeah, in a very realistic manner. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Well,